Hey, what is going on everyone? In this video, we'll cover the differences between the Rosetta and Mayfly factions in Prismverse Clash. Really quick though, I would like to thank Starry Studio for giving me early access to this test character on a test server so that I can make this content for you on day one. And of course, if this video ends up helping you out, a like and subscribe would greatly be appreciated. But without further ado, let's get into it. There are two main differences between the factions, cosmetics and the guaranteed specializations. Each faction has their own cosmetic set that you can earn through seasonal scenario rewards. Now the descriptions for these cosmetic sets are not in English, so I have translated them, and what they say is that you can earn them through seasonal scenario rewards or you can get them through the season shop. Now in the season shop on the test server, they did not have these items there for me, but they may be there on launch day for this scenario. So for the Rosetta faction, you will get the Rosetta Vanguard set here. And for the Mayfly faction, you will get this Fast Win Mayfly set. Now I believe whatever faction you choose, you will only have access to that faction's fashion set, so I don't believe, for example, if you chose Rosetta, you would be able to dress up like a Mayfly. Now the major differences between the factions are the guaranteed specializations. So at levels 5, 20, and levels 40, you are guaranteed to get specializations that are specific to your faction. That is why the Rosetta logo is there for those three categories of specializations. If I was part of the Mayfly faction, it would show the Mayfly logo there. Now on the test server, these specialization descriptions were not in English, so I've actually gone ahead and translated all of them using Google Translate and put them into a spreadsheet, which I will link down below in the description if you would like to take a deeper dive. Also, on this test server, I was also able to get specializations for the opposing faction. So these Gene ones right here are actually Mayfly specializations. I'm not sure if this is intended or not, but if so, it seems like you will be able to mix and match specializations from both factions. So let's start with the Rosetta specializations. At level 5, I was presented with options for 4 different drones that can be crafted at your supplies workbench. A gathering drone, firepower drone, exploration drone, and territory drone. The gathering drone will automatically search for the highest level material nearby and add it to your backpack as long as you have the space for it. When testing, it looks like it gathers things like ore and sulfur nearby. It didn't seem like it would actually gather things like berries and logs, but it does seem to gather things that are in the ore kind of family. The firepower drone is a combat drone that will attack enemies at a medium range, and I even noticed that it will attack wildlife as well, but it doesn't collect the items that the enemies or the wildlife drops. The exploration drone will replace V as your glider, and it has no takeoff height limit, and it won't reduce altitude while gliding, but it will use more stamina while in use. And lastly, the territory drone has long-range shooting capabilities, and it will buff the attack power of all friendly turrets and traps by 50%. Now, all of these drones can also get additional effect bonuses based on the material you use to craft them. So for example, in the first category here, you can choose different types of crystals, and what this will do is it will improve the attack and also the damage reduction for any of the drones. At level 20, you'll get presented with upgrade modules for the drones, including a focus module, wide area module, speedy module, and support module. Each of these modules will be able to be crafted at the supplies workbench once you unlock them, and then you will use them as a crafting material here when actually crafting the drone. Now each module has different effects based on what drone you're actually attaching the module to. So for example, on the firepower drone here, if I attach the focus module, you can see that it says drone attacks trigger the unstable bomber effect. But if I were to go over to the Rosetta exploration drone here and choose the focus module, you can see that it has a different effect here where glide stamina consumption is reduced by 50%, and every 4 seconds during gliding, it will automatically mark a random enemy within 20 meters. So that is how these other upgrade modules work for the second category here. Now at level 40, you are presented with more upgrade modules for the drones, including an invisible module, armor module, load module, and healing module. The invisible module will automatically consume 10 Stardust Source, making the drone enter stealth mode for 5 minutes, and the drone will exit stealth mode when it causes damage. The armor module will automatically consume 3 electronic parts every 30 seconds when the drone has no shield. When it consumes these, it will build the shield back up for the drone. The load module will automatically consume 5 portable mixed fuel every 10 minutes, giving you an additional 100 carry capacity for 10 minutes. And lastly, the healing module will consume 10 adhesives, metal scraps, and 5 rubber every 10 minutes, restoring 50% durability to your equipment with the lowest durability. Now, as you can see, these modules that you unlock at level 40 are also used when crafting your drone. However, the effects of these modules don't change based on what drone they're attached to. So you can see here, if I choose the invisible module, you can see the effect right here is exactly the same as if I were to choose the firepower drone here and then go ahead and choose the invisible module, it'll still be the same effect. So in the second category here, this is where the effects change based on what drone it's attached to. But for the third category here, it will be the same effect regardless of what drone it's attached to. And as a reminder, I do have a spreadsheet with all of the faction specialization details in the description if you would like to take a deeper look and figure out which setup that you want to try to go for. Now for the Mayfly faction, things work a little bit differently. Now, just like Rosetta, you are presented with your guaranteed faction specializations at levels 5, level 20, and level 40. However, your level 5 items are injection items that you can craft at your supplies workbench. You will also unlock something called a gene extractor when choosing an injection type, but we will talk about that a little bit later. So at level 5, you'll be presented with 4 types of injections: the Nurture Injection, Judgment Injection, Speed Injection, and Elysium Injection. The Nurture Injection will help buff mining and logging. The Judgment Injection will help buff combat stats. The Speed Injection will help buff mobility. And the Elysium Injection will help buff attack and defense for territory-related things. Now, after you use an injection, you'll need to do certain actions to level up something new called a Coherence level. You'll be able to see your coherence level right next to your health bar. Now, how you level up your coherence level is based on what type of injection you chose. For the Nurture Injection, you'll gain 1 coherence level every time you mine or log something. For the Judgment Injection, you'll gain 1 coherence level every time you defeat an enemy. For the Speed Injection, you'll gain 1 coherence level for every 2 seconds of movement that you have. And for the Elysium Injection, you'll gain 1 coherence level for every 3 seconds you stay inside a territory. Now, why would you want to increase your coherence level? Well, because there are different effects that trigger based on what that level is, and the type of effect can be different based on what material you used when crafting the injection. Now, in order to craft any of these injections, you'll need to use something called the Gene Extractor, which unlocks at your supplies workbench when you choose an injection type at level 5, as I mentioned earlier. When the Gene Extractor is in your backpack, you'll have a chance for gene fragments to drop when defeating deviants. However, the type of deviant will determine the type of gene fragment that you can get. The gene fragments that you get are used to craft injections at the supplies workbench, and it can alter the effects of the injection. There are 4 types of gene fragments: deviant fragments, anima fragments, starlith, and matterlith. Deviant fragments have a chance to drop when defeating any regular deviant on the map, such as the Gnar or the Charred Maniac, or any regular deviant that you can find on the map. Anima fragments have a chance to drop when defeating any of the anima deviants on the map, such as the Watcher or the Agent, basically any of those deviants that will give you something afterward to use as a weapon. Starlith has a chance to drop when defeating any elite deviant on the map, such as the Arbiter here, or the Starwalker, or any elite deviant you can find on the map. And then lastly, Matterlith has a chance to drop when defeating any morphic enemy on the map, such as the Morphic Fridge, the Morphic Weapon Crate, the Morphic Armor Crate, or even just the regular Morphic Crate. So when crafting an injection, the first category here for materials will allow you to choose either the deviant fragment or the anima fragment, and each of these will be tied to the level 10 of your coherence level. So there will be different effects once you hit level 10 of coherence. If you choose the second category here, this is where you can choose Starlith or Matterlith, and both of these will have a different effect at level 30 coherence. Now, the effect of the anima or deviant fragments or the Starlith or Matterlith will change based on what type of injection this is. So because I have the nurture coherence injection here, and this is focused on mining and logging, the effects that I'm getting from these different fragments are related to mining and logging. And similar to the drone upgrades for Rosetta, you can also unlock upgrade materials at levels 20 and 40 for Mayfly. At level 20, you'll be able to choose a gene type that will buff the injection in different ways. So we have the lightning gene type, proliferation gene, extreme gene, and the Bastille gene. Hopefully I said that right. And the effects of these genes that you choose at level 20 don't change based on the type of injection you're applying them to. So the effects will always be the same regardless of which injection you're applying them to. So the proliferation gene right here, as you can see, it will create a proliferation zone. And within this zone, you basically get an increased amount of these particular materials when you are harvesting them for 10 seconds. The extreme gene will basically go ahead and buff your max load as well as your weapon damage, and there's a lot of description here for this, so feel free to go ahead and read that. And then the lightning gene is probably the coolest one to me. This one, while you're in combat, it will automatically select a random enemy within 20 meters, and every 10 seconds it will generate a lightning strike beneath them after a 3-second delay, so that is pretty cool. And then lastly, we have the Bastille gene. Hopefully I said that right, but basically this is going to give you a buff in damage reduction and weak spot damage reduction, and it kind of just fortifies you a bit more. And then at level 40, instead of getting an upgrade material for an injection, you can unlock different gene fabrics that can be used to upgrade your armor at a gear workbench. So you have the proliferation fabric, the extreme fabric, the lightning fabric, as well as the Bastille fabric. So the proliferation one increases maximum load. Your extreme one has weak spot reduction, the lightning one has crit damage reduction, and then the Bastille one will increase the durability. So for both factions, you're essentially choosing a main item at level 5, and then at levels 20 and 40, you are choosing upgrade materials. But there you have it, folks. Those are the main differences between the factions. And again, as a reminder, I have all of the faction specialization information in a spreadsheet linked in the description down below if you're interested. And we also have a great Discord community with a bunch of other helpful resources. So if you'd like to join that, I'll put a link to that in the description down below as well. But let me know, what faction are you planning on joining? Does one faction seem more powerful than the other to you? I would love to hear your feedback in the comments down below. And of course, if you did enjoy the video today, be sure to like and subscribe to help support the channel. I've got more Once Human content on the way, so I hope you're looking forward to that. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the new scenario, and I'm excited to see your feedback, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.